Bentornati tifosi napolitani to another edition of Monday Night Napoli presented by Far From Vesuvius Network. I'm your host as always, Rafa Rispo, and just look at this all-star cast that I have here today. First and foremost, the return of the Biz, Raf Bizzarro. Come stai, Rafa?
How are you guys? Good to be back. Good to be back, man. Happy to be here,
Yes,
Rafa.
it's good to have you back, partner. Big partner forever, man. Partner forever. Thank you so much for coming in, brother. And
Pleasure.
of course, I mean I might have to give it up to him. He's definitely the co-king of Napoli drip. Like if we could share a crown, you know what I'm saying?
We'll give you. Well, you're definitely the king. I'll go Prince.
Well,
I'll
I mean, listen. You're, okay, the Prince. It's
I'll
only
go
because
Prince.
I'm so much older than you are, Fran. You know what I mean?
Not so much.
That's it. You know, but
You're not
one
that
of these
old.
days we're gonna compare closets. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But this guy, I mean, also just a top dude, top notch dude. You know. But thank you, Fran, for coming in too. I want to thank everybody in the chat. Dude, the chat is popping already. Look at this.
Popping off, man.
You tell them you start at 9:30 and you get a 9:50 start. You know they're all waiting. they're itching to come in.
Right.
My man Chris Estrada is back in town. Chris, my man, thank you again for coming in. Yes, he messaged me saying, "Where can I find you guys? Glad to be part of this new journey. Wonderful, the Holy Trinity, Vincenzo Bertillo. Yeah, man." Here we are, and you know what a good freaking weekend this was. Thank God we're back here. Thank God.
Right.
Milan Napoli 1-0 Napoli at the San Siro. It's another win against Napoli against Milan at the San Siro. We haven't lost since 2014. Napoli are back in second place. And you know, I had to bring Bizzarro in for this because who else than Elif Elmas getting the early winner, the Macedonian Marauder. I don't know, what do we call it, right? The Macedonian Marauder, right?
I'm down with it.
I mean, well,
Proud of my boy, Rafa.
Yeah, we are. We're all proud. Let's start with the starting 11 for Napoli. Ospina in net, Malqui, Ramani, Juan Jesus Di Lorenzo. No Mario Rui because of injury. You know, the first match he had to sit the season, other than that Europa League red card. Deme and Anguissa in the midfield. Lozano, Zielinski, and Elmas on the wing. And the surprise of the weekend, Petagna starting over Mertens. Give me your thoughts on this starting 11. Let's start with the Biz. What do you think about this?
You know, overall, I think with the exception of Petagna, I'm cool with all of it. Like, I don't see any other way to kind of start this, right? I mean, with Insigne being out, with Koulibaly being out, I'm not sure if Mertens was it a way to rest him a little bit. I know when was it the Empoli game that it was like pouring rain, or the game prior?
No,
to that
was the Europa League match against
Europa League match
Leicester
when he
City.
came in. Yeah. I know, like I think he tweaked his ankle a little bit. I saw during half of the game, so I don't know. You know, I don't know if that's something that's still bothering him. With a game against Milan, I mean, nothing against Petagna, but he's not Mertens. So that's the only question I had. I'm not sure if there was any other underlying factors there. I don't even think Mertens came into the game, right?
He did. He ended up coming in later. We'll get to there. We know you skimmed through the game quickly to come.
No, yeah, I just finished watching it. That's
yes, sir. So. That's okay. But we'll get to that. Fran, your thoughts on Petagna starting? Your thoughts on Deme and Anguissa in the midfield? Maybe you know, what did you think when you initially saw this lineup?
So this was one of the lineups that I had predicted if we played a 4-2-3-1. I thought Di Lorenzo would get pushed to his non-usual position at left back, and then I thought Malqui would slide in at right back, or we would have played a back three with Di Lorenzo, Jesus, Ramani as the center backs, and then Malqui as a wing back. But then who would the other wing back be? And that's when I thought, I guess we're gonna go 4-2-3-1, and that's what wound up happening. Petagna starting, I'm cool with. I was fine with it. Who knows what's going on with Mertens in terms of his, his fitness right now. Who knows if there was a risk involved in playing him 60 minutes in this game. So it was fine. I don't really hate on Petagna as much as, some of the hate he gets from other fans, which is funny. I mean, the memes are all funny and stuff. But the thing that annoyed me about the match with Petagna starting is we were trying to play him like long balls and through balls, and he doesn't have the pace to do that.
No.
So we weren't catering to, his strengths at all throughout the match. So it's not that him starting annoyed me, but once he was in the lineup, it's like we played like he was, Ozyman. And it was like, guys, he's not Ozyman. So let's try to treat him, let's try to bring out the strengths of Petagna. And then as far as the midfield is concerned with Dembele and Anguissa, I mean, Anguissa is just built different, if we're being honest, right? I mean, you can see his physique. He's just built different. So I'm not surprised that he was able to come back into the lineup for, almost a full 90, just after returning from injury. And maybe Lobotka still had something from the Atalanta game and couldn't go the full match. And maybe that's why Deme had to start over him. But, I mean, I was fine with the lineup other than that.
Well, I mean, we're thin, right? And my next point is, Fran, continuing with you, let's elaborate on, the fact that we had a very thin bench for this one. Meret, Marfella, our backup goalkeepers. But then Gulam, Zanoli, Lobotka returning, Mertens on the bench, Unas, and Politano. I mean, when you think about how thin that bench is compared to what we can have now on a bench, right? And all of the injuries and all that, we're actually kind of covered in each position here, aren't we?
Are you asking me, Rob?
Sorry. I was, yes. No, that's okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, pretty much. At the forward spots, you have the 4 spots. For the 1 forward, the lone striker, and then the 3 guys under him, the 10 and the 2 guys out wide, left and right. And you had Mertens on the bench for one of those spots, then Politano on the bench as well for another spot. So those are a couple of spots there that were covered. Then in the midfield, you have Lobotka, who's available. You have Unas, who's also available in the attacking 4. That's actually 3 covers now for the 4 spots up front. I missed Unas. And then in the back, you had Zanoli, who's, younger, coming off COVID. Who knows what his fitness is like. And then Gulam as well on the bench. And who knows what his fitness is like with all the up and downs he's had throughout his career. So, but yeah, we did have coverage.
We did. Guys, let's take a look at some of these comments. I put a few up, but Anguissa, Gaetano says Anguissa had his worst game yet, still not close to his best. Antonio Pandolfi says, I'd almost like to see Petagna in the number 10 spot. He's good at distributing the ball. Biz, Petagna for me, I mean, that's an interesting take there. I mean, I feel like 10? The number 10 has to have some sort of pace too, but at the same time, the number 10 is also really kind of looking to distribute, and look for your attackers. So what's your take on this, on Antonio's shout to put Petagna in that spot?
It's not a bad. He wouldn't be my favorite number 10, but it's not a bad take.
Well, in a pinch, right?
In a pinch, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times you'll see Petagna, as slow as he is, he still kind of comes back. He still kind of comes back to help a lot on defense, and maybe that's why, like Franz said, sometimes it's so hard to kind of play him out, because he just doesn't have that pace like Ozzy can, and he doesn't chase down the ball very well sometimes. But that doesn't mean he doesn't look to pass, and he can help out Lozano with goals. He can help out maybe like Elmas in this case with goals. So it's not a bad look. But
I like
Petagna, but it's about as fast as a Pioggia ape.
An 84 Pioggia ape. My uncle
It's a
had a
good one.
Pioggia, but I don't know what year it was, but it wasn't very fast at all.
I got those are like those
Luca,
2-cylinder,
yeah,
wind-up
yeah,
cars.
exactly. Luca
Yeah.
Lombardi says maybe Mertens off the bench because in games past where Mertens starts and gets subbed off, we don't finish the game strong. Sassuolo Atalanta. Good point. Good point. Also,
I think that's good. Like
That's a
I'll
good
tell you
impact
what.
point.
players for the second
Yeah,
half, I think against Milan, very important because
right.
that game could have gone
Be-
south
because
very
you
easily.
need a guy with like experience and leadership qualities to
Right.
get you through those, that last gasp, to get over the finish line when it's tough. And that's actually a really good point by Luca. Who knows? That could have been a reason as well.
Gaetano says Petagna needs to play left out bench.
Left out bench.
Gaetano comes in and also says was saving Mertens for Wednesday. That was my next point to make. What a move. What a move. Like the whole time all I'm thinking of is how are we gonna beat Milan 1-0 with an early goal and not have Mertens on this pitch the whole game? Like, I mean, that's an unbelievable. And now we have a fresh Mertens for Spezia. So, that's a big move by Spalletti. Big balls by him, man. Big balls. Definitely. What do you
100%,
think?
Raf.
Yeah.
100%,
Oh yeah.
Rafa.
Yeah.
100%. It's but at the same time, listen, we spoke constantly about depth, right? And here it is. I mean, granted, Milan, they had their depleted side too. Let's be fair to them. This was both teams that are kind of like struggling in their lineup right now. I'll wait to get into some specific players on Milan that I thought did well between
Well,
what's his name,
why don't
Torre,
why
the defense.
no,
But
listen, why don't we get there right now because let's look at the Milan lineup
sure.
starting 11 brought to you by FIFA 22 apparently.
Mhm.
This taken from this
It's in the
taken from the
game.
Milan side. It's in the game. Mike Magnan in goal, Florenzi, Tomori, Romagnoli, and Balotore. On defense, let's not also forget that these guys were missing guys like Krunic. I mean, I'm sorry, not Krunic. Kyer, who's out for I think the season. Calabria wasn't playing. Who else on defense was missing? Teo Hernandez was out with flu-like symptoms.
Hmm.
So that was a depleted defense as well. Romagnoli, we know how he's been lately. Of course, I have him on fantasy, but of course, whatever. Tonali and Kessie in the midfield. Didn't start Benacer. Messias, Diaz, and Krunic, and then Ibrahimovic in the front. So, go ahead, Biz. Tell me who you think played well for Milan. What do you think?
I think Milan's defense kept this,
Well, for what
we're
they
able to neutralize
for as depleted as it was,
right.
they did keep it pretty tight. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think Tomori played really well. I think he
I
had.
thought
a good
Tomori
game.
did well. Even Torre, I thought did all right. Romagnoli did his
Mhm.
thing. They tried the best to thwart. They really shut down Lozano a whole bunch. Just giving us the slide tackling, just the way they were dispossessing us. I thought took away a lot of big chances from Napoli, and I think that's what ultimately kept Milan. I don't want to say in the game, but as far as the game not getting away with them and giving them the ability to kind of come back later on in the second half, or at least the possibility to come back in the second half, I thought I thought that was I'm going to contribute that to the Milanese defense. But yeah, I agree with Vincenzo there. Big balls to stop. But what choice do
Elephantitis
you have?
balls. Spalletti has
Elephantitis ball,
elephantitis balls to
huge.
win with that lineup away at San Siro, right? Right, Vin?
Big.
Elephantitis balls. Um. Fran, your take on Milan's starting 11 compared to ours. I mean, were we worried about this one? I think we were. I think we all can say we were worried about it, as depleted as Milan were too.
Definitely worried about it going into the game. I thought, all bias aside, I thought that Napoli had the worst of the injuries between the two squads.
Sure.
I mean, you go through who we're missing, right? Insigne, Osimhen, Koulibaly. For me, those are 3 out of the top 5 players currently on our team as far as impact goes. I'd even say Fabian, you could argue this season, is definitely a top 5 player to this team. So that could be 4 top 5 players that are out of the lineup now. So, yeah, I would say that we had the worst of the injuries than Milan did, but Milan were obviously still depleted. I was impressed with Macias. He's in a pretty good form right now for Milan. It seems a lot of the games he's been playing, whether it's the league or the Champions League, he's creating some good chances, scoring some big goals for them. I know against Atletico, he scored a big goal for them to give them a chance to move on, which ultimately didn't happen for them. But he almost scored against us this match. He put one right over the crossbar from distance. I thought Brahim was really disappointing this match. I thought he was just out muscled in a lot of situations.
He was.
Really
he was missing
much.
all game. No, he was missing all game.
He's been a little bit of a hot and cold guy for them this year. I have him in fantasy, so I always, keep an eye on him. And he's been really hot and cold. But when he's on, I mean, he's a phenomenal player to watch, no doubt.
We were all worried, Eric Williams says. Yeah, I mean, we were, for sure. So let's talk about the goal, guys, because it comes fast. It comes in the 5th minute. Zielinski takes a corner kick. A corner kick? I don't understand. We're scoring on corner kicks now.
To Elmas.
To Elmas nonetheless. But listen, for me, unbelievably, Petagna draws, I want to say it was Krunic away. Was it Krunic? I don't know. Whoever was marking Petagna, he did a really good job to draw him out of the way and leave the ball right for Elmas, who was poorly defended by Tonali, and then Ibrahimovic just behind him, like just kind of looking like a deer in headlights. Raf, I think your audio is a little out. Why don't you check your audio? No, your audio is very low. Very, very low. Check that.
Can you hear me now?
Perfecto, Bizarro.
Okay.
Perfecto. Doing the biz. But yeah, so Elmas's goal, Magnan just didn't even see it coming. Elmas has been playing real well, Gaetano. He says that. Got to give him credit.
Got a fun fact, Rafa. He has played more minutes this season so far than all of last season.
That's unbelievable.
I believe he has 8 goals in all competitions, and that's including international duty.
Well, listen, just the fact that he is among elite status when it comes to players that have scored against Germany in World Cup qualifying. And Fran, I don't know if you know, but I've said this stat a bunch of times before. I don't know if you know, but he's only one of 3 players in history to get a game winner in Germany in a World Cup qualifying match, which for me is just unbelievable, and we got him. So that for me is enough right there. But Elmas gets his goal. It's his second Serie A goal, I believe. The first one coming in the first match of the season against Venezia. I was looking into Elmas's goal scoring record with Napoli, and I could have swore that he scored his first goal against Sassuolo on the last match of 2019, Gattuso's first win. I'll never forget it because it was the day before my big accident, my car accident. I had a big car accident.
That's right.
But no, it wasn't credited to Elmas. It was an own goal by Obiang. But I thought I was going to reference the fact. Here it is right here. Look at Elmas getting that head in. I was going to reference that because I remember, continuing to think that was an Elmas goal. Later on, it was discovered that it was the own goal. But I remember posting something, and I made a little bit of a a modification on it because it was December 22nd, right? So it's almost 2 years ago today, right? And I dubbed him everybody's favorite Christmas Elif. Oh, and here's the picture that's awfully distorted. There you go.
There it is.
Everybody's favorite Christmas Elif.
He
Elif
looks like
Elmas. There
Elif.
he is.
That's funny.
Looks like an Elif.
Do we love it?
I'm watching this movie later tonight. Actually.
Are you?
I'm gonna watch it now. Yeah.
How can you not?
Haven't watched it yet this season. It's due.
It's due. So we're
it's like a once a year thing for you.
For sure.
I see.
We're in the we're in the shop. We're in the shop. We're doing a whole bunch of a whole bunch of different Christmas movies, and Elf has been on about 6 times. So yeah, but yeah, guys. So Elmas's goal. I mean, I just really absolutely love how he's playing. Bizarrov, the Macedonian. Bizarrov.
You know me. I'm like a 10th Macedonian. But
yes.
But Ralph, I read an article today, and they finally acknowledge it. We said it before. Elmas is no superstar. I'll give it that. Okay, I think he's a good player, but he's no superstar. He's not the guy that's going to be on the cover of the papers in the morning. But I finally read an article that acknowledged something. This is a guy that Spalletti can put anywhere. There's nobody else in this current lineup, in this current roster, that plays as many positions as Elif Elmas does. And that's what I think makes him the most special. Now, he has been, past few games, has had the opportunity to, Bizarre's from Northern Queens. Shout out to Quentin. He was he came through to Queens a couple weeks ago. We had fun. We gave him the proper Astoria tour.
Shout out Quentin.
Santa Gennaro.
Elma's like, you know Santa Gennaro?
You know Santa Gennaro?
Elma Otts. I'm sorry. No,
I'm loving it. No, this is the best part. Is everybody in the chat kind of going along with it? But just to add, like, this is such a utility player for Napoli. No, he's not a superstar, but look how many. Name me one other player on this team that plays as many positions as Elmas does. There's not one. Everybody's kind of like in their role, and that's it. That's what they do. Elmas is a guy that wherever Spalletti needs to put him, he goes. And and like Vincenzo said, he's only 22. He's only 22. He plays about 4 or 5 positions. What an asset he is to this team. He's played fullback. He's played defensive mid. He's played number 10. Shit, I think he's even played a number 9 once. He plays on the left. He plays on the right. He's everywhere, and that's what I really like about this young kid. I mean, he is getting experience all over the field. Just think what he might look like in the next few years if he actually is given a role, or if it's not even a role in one position, a person that can come on in any position to help the team at any point. You want to talk about depth. I mean, this is the epitome of depth, a player that can play multiple positions and still help out the team. So I think that's his biggest attribute. I think that's what makes him such a big asset for the team. And that's it. And I just, more of that. Because I think we would miss him.
Campioni 87-90. La 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 la. Elmas World. Oh,
that's great.
That's wonderful.
Hey, he's the most versatile player, and it seems like we got the most amount of names for him too.
For sure.
And
just like name me other players that do what he does, and any team,
Truth be told, I saw Elmas serving espresso with Tommy. And then Elmas puts the jolly in Christmas. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. All right. So after we decide, first half, couple of other chances. Milan had a few chances too. Nothing too crazy. Second half too. I mean, I will say this. I remember in the second half when it started, Deme losing a particular ball, and I said to myself, my cousin was in the bathroom at the time, and I said it out loud to him, Deme is not doing great. He's coming out soon. Lobotka for Deme. And then soon as I said that, here it comes. Here comes Lobotka up for Deme. As soon as Lobotka comes in, I mean, he's stringing passes together. He's winning balls. He's doing his thing. So how did you guys feel about Lobotka's performance coming in today too? Because remember, I believe he re-aggravated an injury or whatever it was, but Lobotka came back in and looked like he didn't even miss a step. What do you think? Fran, let's start with you, Fran.
Yeah, I mean, Lobotka, like I said on the podcast with Joe, I believe. One second, I got my mom talking to that.
Mama. It's okay.
Wait, Ma, tell her to come on. It's okay.
Mama,
We're good.
Yes.
We're good. No, so I was on Joe's podcast last week, and I remember we talked about it. Before Anguissa was brought in, Lobotka was starting it up for us in the midfield. And then when we purchased Anguissa, obviously he was balling out, and you couldn't take him out of the lineup. Although I do think Lobotka and Anguissa should have been rotating a little more, and could be the reason Anguissa got hurt. But that's for another debate. But as soon as Lobotka came back into the lineup when Anguissa went down, I mean, I thought he had the one poor match in the Europa League when we lost 2-1 in Spartak, wherever the hell we played. It was in Moscow, right? We played Spartak Moscow.
Right. That was one of his first games back, though, wasn't it?
That was his first game back, and I think it was just pure rust. And then after that, he's been starting ever since. Atalanta, he was great. Away at the Mape against Sassuolo, he had a great game. And I thought against Milan yesterday when he came on too, he was a better passer. I think he definitely takes more touches on the ball. He'll carry more with the ball. He'll go further up the field, I feel like, than Deme. And I feel like, I guess, the weight that he shed off last year, he's just like a shiftier, more agile player now. So, I mean, everything that he really has done this season for me has been pretty good, whether it's on the ball or off the ball. He's been solid most games.
Without Fabian, Lord Lobo is a must, right, Vincenzo? What were you going to say, Ralph? Sorry.
No, I was just doing this for Vincenzo.
Oh, the director's
yeah. No, I'm. Again, I don't want to open up a can of worms like Francesco said, but it's like, why didn't Lobotka get more time? I know Anguissa stole the show. We were happy with him. We were excited to see him. We needed his presence. We needed his height. But considering if the beginning of the season we saw the same Lobo as last season at some point or prior, I can understand why we would have say, all right, let's just keep Anguissa on. But there's no reason why Lobotka couldn't have got more time, and we had to wait for an injury now to see.
Well, no. Well, so to be fair,
he got an injury.
He was injured too. Yeah. So when the thing is that when Anguissa signed, Lobotka had already been away on international duty and got injured with Slovakia.
That's right.
So we had brought in Anguissa as Lobotka went down. So Anguissa coming in, it like guaranteed him minutes, and then we saw what he could do, and it was like, whoa! What do we have here? Hopefully, we get that same Lobotka back too. So now we have Lobotka, Deme, and Anguissa in that position. Then Fabian, who plays the other side, you could throw Elmas in there. You could throw Zielinski in there. You could play a defensive Deme, Anguissa, Deme, Lobotka. So when Lobotka came back from injury, it was a slow start, but that was also around the time Anguissa got hurt too, because then Anguissa ended up getting hurt with the game against Inter. So, I mean, I think Lobotka has earned his right to have a real shout at starting more regularly, but that's the beauty of having these matches midweek. If a fully fit Napoli has to play against, Milan, and then in the Europa League the next, in the midweek, you can start Anguissa against Milan and then Lobotka against the Europa League, and you're not skipping a beat. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that for me is humongous, because we've got, like, when our midfield is fully healthy, there's not a better midfield in Italy, in my opinion. No. Not a better midfield. So that was the first of the substitutions. Then we waited until the 77th, 78th minute for the next Napoli substitution. And I'm going to pull it up right now because I have it in my notes, but I don't have the notes up. But before I do, that was in the 53rd minute. You okay there, Fran?
Yeah.
All right.
It's in the computer.
No, that's okay. 63rd minute, Giroud and Salamakers comes in for Diaz and Krunic. And like you said, Fran, Diaz has been awful in this game, so warranted for him to come out. But that made it a two-man number 9 in Giroud and Ibrahimovic, and that's when I was like, oh, no. Now, granted, Ramani and Juan Jesus really did their job against this defense, but now here you got two big number 9s coming in. I was very worried at this point. But then for us, we take out Unas and Politano and Mertens. We put them in for Lozano, Zielinski, and Petagna. I don't know. You put in Unas for for Zielinski, and I'm guessing you're gonna throw Mertens into that Petagna spot, and then Unas over to Zielinski's spot. But I don't know. Like what did you think of that substitution? I mean, listen, it's all we had on the bench, but how did you see it play out? I mean, I wouldn't say either of them played bad or good. I just think in the 78th minute there wasn't enough time to see what they could do. But what did you think of the performances of Lozano, of Zielinski, who had the assist, and of Petagna? I mean, Ralph, let's start with you. What did you think of the substitutions that were made? Um,
So I
I was sort of
was.
like, where are they? Like in the 53rd, we made that one sub, but then it was like, where are they? Where are these subs that we might need? You know?
Right. I was I would say like maybe the last 20 minutes of the game, I was kind of in and out of it. So
Yeah,
shame on me for not maybe having the kind of like the
like the
best
like the.
details to share, right?
Okay, no, that's fine. That's
But
fine.
Politano, I can understand. I think defensively he can contribute a little bit more than Lozano. So to maybe try to hold a game, especially with that, those double number nines between Eber and Giroud, I can understand it. Unas, is what I like about Unas though is that he takes the ball, dribbles, go forward. He continues to attack, and I think that's good even when you're trying to hold a lead, because you've seen when Napoli kind of just starts sitting back, they get into all kinds of troubles. Unas is a guy that when he comes onto the field continues to play forward and continues to be a threat. Maybe it's a little bit of his ego. Maybe he thinks I think it was Matteo that said it's like Unas comes on and thinks he's the best player on the field, and maybe
Oh
that's a
yeah,
good
for
thing.
sure. Yeah,
Maybe you need
he's
that
hungry.
though. He's on, like let him continue to. It's kind of like the Japanese way of thinking, right? A good defense is continuing to play offense, So I like that from Unas, but at we still want the game ended 1-0, So what did it do? Well, it didn't make us lose the game. I can say that much. So, and this is what we got. So, I have no big opinion on it. They came
Okay.
to give rest where it's needed. I don't mind Zielinski getting off. I don't mind Lozano going off. Zielinski right now, we need him to stay healthy. I think between Insigne being out, especially Koulibaly and all these guys, like really our best number 10 is Zielinski. No Zielinski, no party, and we need
Mm-hmm.
him to be healthy. We need him to be. Thankfully, he woke up. Because I would say the beginning of the season he was a bit inconsistent. Thankfully, he woke up over the past maybe month or so, and we have been really seeing some fireworks out of him. Controlling the ball, controlling the pace, setting up the players. He had the corner to right to Elmas's head today, but if it's merely for preservation, I was cool with it.
Fran.
So I thought Zielinski had a really good game. I thought his turning was excellent. I thought it was vintage Zielinski. The turning, the foot skills, the technicality of Zielinski in tight spaces is always fun to watch. And I thought it was on full display this game. I thought Lozano, as Gaetano commented, I pretty much agreed with a lot of Gaetano's comments on the performances from Petagna, Zielu, and Lozano. I thought Lozano had an okay game. I thought he had a pretty good game off the ball defensively, but on the ball he was a little horrific. I must say, he had the one through ball to Petagna that Petagna wound up taking too long
Yeah,
to get the touch out
yeah,
of his
way
feet.
too long. It was like
That's what
super slow
Yeah,
motion.
Tomari like slid in, right? That was
I
that
mean,
from
Tomari.
behind and took
he
it
had
off
all
him.
the time in the
Yeah.
world to
Excellent
get
defensive
there.
play.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
So I
You
thought,
could, I mean, that was a goal. If he
100%.
make contact with that ball, he's
Yeah.
blasting it past my.
That's a laser into the net. Without
Oh
a
my
doubt.
God, you could see him cock
Would have-
back too with it and
Would have
frickin-
broke Magnan's hand again.
yeah, he could have. I thought on the ball really Lozano wasn't great. It just looked like he didn't have many ideas today. At times, it looked like he was a little panicky, forcing some shots in the traffic. So on the ball, it wasn't great, but defensively pretty good. So that's why I'll give him an okay game. And like the only player I disagree with Gaetano, I would say it's Petagna. I know Petagna squandered that chance, but I actually thought Petagna had a pretty decent game. When he needed to do, when he was called upon to do what he needed to do, like at times drift wide, hold the ball, try to get numbers forward, I thought he did it, but we weren't playing to his strengths. Like I was saying earlier in the podcast, we were playing over the top to him, and he doesn't have the pace, and he's alone. What do you really want him to do? Whether the ball's played to him over the top or on the ground, he's isolated and he doesn't have pace. So it's kind of tough to ask much of him when we're playing like that. And as far as the subs go, Rob, I totally agree with you. I mean, to me, nobody really did anything. Unas, Politano, Mertens, it was kind of just non-applicable, right? You can't really give him a grade or a comment. I thought maybe the idea was let's try to ride with the 10 or 11 for as long as we can go, so we have fresh legs for Spezia. And the other guess that I would say is, when Milan brought on Giroud and Ibra, the thing that I was worried about is now you have the two target men, and recently we've been atrocious with set pieces defending them. So now you have the threat off corners and free kicks for Milan with two huge target men. So I guess Spalletti's, the only card he had to play was, I'm going to pray to God that we dodge any bullets and any chances from Ibra and Giroud, and maybe catch them with pace on the counter with, the creativity of Mertens, Unas, and the pace of Politano and Unas and the explosiveness. But we just never had the chance to counter really at all in the last, 15, 16, 17 minutes. We really didn't counter at all effectively. So that's why I would say, for all those three guys, there's not much to say about them since they came on.
Right. Absolutely. Along with the changes that we made, Benacer and Samu Castillo came in for Tonali and Messias. Messias has been really good for Milan lately. He's sort of this like coming of age player. What's up, Sereno? But nothing against us really. I mean, a couple of good passes, I think, nothing crazy. In the 86th, Kalulu comes in for Florenzi, and in the 87th, Gulam makes an appearance in for Elmas. But we get to the 89th minute, guys. 89th, 90th minute, and what a sequence. I mean, let's just talk about how we really dodged a bullet in that one. Solid defensively, and I want to bring up Chris Estrada, if you're still here with us. I wanted to bring up your question because I saw you ask it a couple times. I'm gonna find it really fast and put it up here. Would you guys say Ramani is the most improved player this season so far? I we'll get to that question in a minute, but before we do, I want to talk about the defense as a whole. This team scored a goal in the 5th minute and held Milan at the San Siro with a depleted defense. I mean, you had Di Lorenzo there, who really didn't make a lot of noise. He didn't really do too much. You had Malqui playing in for Mario Rui, and of course, Koulibaly is out and Juan Jesus has to step in. I really believe that both Ramani and Juan Jesus have been doing an amazing, amazing job covering for Koulibaly being out. How are you guys, up until that last play, feeling about the defense from this match? Whoever wants to start. Raf, you start.
I was raising my hand. No, how do I, as far as Juan Jesus and
well,
and
no,
how
yeah,
that's
as
looking
far as the defense as a whole, I mean,
in general,
holding Milan to no goals after scoring in the first 5 minutes. I know each and every one of us Napoli fans out there felt that we got this early goal. We're not going to score another goal. They're going to end up scoring 4 on us. You know what I mean? That's how I felt. That's how I thought. But that defense really, really did the job. I mean, in my opinion.
Well, Yeah, and I think that is the overall statement, Rafa. They did the job, and honestly, what more can you ask for? You're not going to get another player like Koulibaly. That comes once in a decade or what have you. It is a very rare thing. It's a unicorn. Um, Now, as far as asking who has been the most improved, there's been a couple back and forth between Rahmani and Lobo. I think Rahmani stepping up, filling in some big shoes, while we're dealing with this Manolis bust, has been our saving grace. Di Lorenzo, comfortable. I mean, granted, he had played the left this game, but he's comfortable in the right. It's like these guys know their positions. They play them well, and they're reliable. And I think that's important. Juan Jesus, all right, maybe there's things left to be desired, but he made a few tackles. I'm a little scared with him jumping up for the ball and trying to, I saw Romani kind of had to make up the difference a little bit there, but again, he's a placeholder right now for the our injured starting center back. So considering what we just went through, considering that Rui is our starting left back, we're doing okay. It's not terrible. And
yeah,
they're holding their own, Rafa. I mean, like, I can't ask
especially
for
in
more.
this match. Especially in this match. I mean,
especially in this match.
Listen, you put yourself in a position, right? Okay, Koulibaly's been out for a bit, right? The defense, against Atalanta, we gave up 3. We scored 2, could have had a point, right? That's Atalanta, top 4 team, scores ton of goals all the time. Can't say much about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Inter game, what can you do? That's Inter, right?
Mm-hmm.
The freaking Empoli game, squandering the 2-0 lead against Leicester City, but then to come back and win. Annoying, yes, but still got the job done. And then the Empoli game was just a fluke. Defensively, we weren't terrible against Empoli. It's just that there was a fluke of a goal against Empoli, and that's just the bottom line.
And we didn't score either.
It was more us not scoring than the defense not doing their part, right?
Right.
But then we come to Milan in a huge game again. I've said this, Fran. I've said this from the beginning of the season, but especially since the Leicester game. We're put in these situations where last year we don't get points out of these games. And they're different situations. You got the Milan one now. You got the Leicester City one a couple weeks ago. You got, name it. Just name it. These smaller, tougher teams that we can't seem to find points against. I said to myself after the Empoli game and maybe after the Sassuolo game, I was like, okay, these are going to be games that we're going to be counting later in the season. Oh, that Empoli game, if it was only for that Empoli game, But at the same time, we're coming away with big, massive wins in big, massive situations, And I really feel like this defense has done its job, a good enough job without Koulibaly over there. Right, Fran?
So in the beginning, we were definitely shelling out more goals as soon as had lost Koulibaly, which I think should have been expected because in the beginning it's kind of a shell shock to start gelling with a new back 4. But as we've gone on without Koulibaly for the past couple of weeks, and as the weeks have progressed, it seems that these guys are getting the hang of it more, playing with each other. So it seems like that's starting to gel, which is cool to have another back line that seems to be in sync. Another like rotation. And Romani was making some Koulibaly-esque plays throughout the entire match. I mean, he was drifting out wide, causing havoc defensively, flying in the tackles out wide, which we see Koulibaly do all the time, to cover outside backs. How many times have we seen him cover Rui and his mistakes and go out wide and prevent the play from happening? Or, just cover for Rui if Rui gets beat out wide. He's right there anticipating, hey, Rui might get beat here. Let me end this now. Let me close this before, the player could even cut inside, threaten inside. So Ramani was doing things along those lines. So it was nice to see. It was definitely nice to see him step up. But the whole back line that match and the whole team really, it was just such a gutsy win, gutsy performance. And honestly, after some of the points we dropped, especially the previous match at home against Empoli, which was shocking to all of us, I think we needed to pull off that shock win. It kind of made up for it in a way.
Sure.
Rafa, if I can interject real quick, I got
sure
a quick stat. Goals conceded per match. Napoli number 1 at 0.7.
Yeah.
So that
13 against. Inter have 15 against, but we're still the best defense in the league. Yeah.
Still at number 1. Malcuit, don't forget, before his injury was a darling on our team, and then he got injured, and then he got loaned out. So we kind of forgot about him, and then D'Lo came, and then kind of like stole that spotlight a little bit. But Malcuit was a great right back when we picked him up. And maybe coming back onto the team, a little shaky at times. He had to kind of get used to playing at this level again and still recovering. But he was solid right back.
He was playing for Angelotti, right? Was starting him a lot of matches.
Yeah, he was.
I believe, right. Yep. And because that was our starting right back at the time. I'm not sure who else we had at that moment. The names kind of escaped me a little bit as far as right back, but Malcuit was our starting right back. He was the guy that we bought.
Husai was our right back.
We only had Husai and Gulam, but I think Husai was playing left back at the time, right? Because Gulam was dead.
Husai was playing. Right. Yeah.
But Malcuit was that dude, and he's back and he's been warm. He's been getting more time now.
That play was huge. Yeah.
Yeah, the slide tackle from Ramani on Ibrahimovic was huge. Yeah,
that was amazing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, it was a day to forget for Ibra. I would say he had some chances, and he really botched them. On most normal days, he wouldn't have botched them. So we dodged a couple Ibra bullets, which was nice. But I mean, going back to the last play of the game with the Kessie goal being disallowed, honestly, guys, like I can give less of a shit because we never get lucky. We never
honestly,
get lucky.
but it's not even luck, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's exactly where I was going right now. So they're in the 90th minute now. We're inside the 90th minute. Ballatore, I believe, sends a ball into the box, and this was the ensuing image here. Like, look at that.
It's a headlock for crying out loud.
First of all, it's a headlock side. It's a clothesline. It's a headlock. It's a takedown. It's a foul. It's a foul.
It's MMA is what it is.
Then it ends up where like Giroud, Giroud sends Juan Jesus down and is now on the. Yeah, of course it's not legal. He sends him down. Juan Jesus ends up on top of Giroud, but Giroud is kind of holding him with his leg.
Yeah.
Now, God love the Serie A sit-down guys, because I do. But Frank Crivello couldn't find why this goal was disallowed. And they did mention this sort of foul, because Ken had been watching, I believe, or mentioned something on Twitter, but, Richard noticed it, saying, what about the foul on Juan Jesus by Giroud? And Frank's argument is that's not what they were looking at. They were looking at the offside. He was part of the play as he was laying on the ground doing whatever it is he was doing with Juan Jesus. And that's what got the goal disallowed. It could have been this headlock, clothesline, side takedown. Okay. Or there was also a potential handball,
right? Yeah.
Right? By who was it? Who was the handball by? It doesn't matter. Benacer.
I think it was, yeah.
Who's number 20? Tomori? I don't know. Whoever it was. There was a handball also. And there was a scramble in the box, and Kessie puts it away. It's his birthday. The crowd goes nuts. Bonetti gets to hear the crowd go nuts, which I was very happy.
Kalulu.
Oh, it's Kalulu. You're right.
Kalulu.
I was very, very happy for Bonetti to get to, go to Milan and do the game. And very cool. Kudos to the CBS crew, because CBS coverage was amazing. their technical shit needs to really get fixed. And I had a conversation with Marco Messina about that, and after yesterday, and he said to me, "Listen, that the people that he works with are focusing on the content, and they have no real like pull with the people in the technical side of things, but they're getting a lot of people are coming with these guys with the problems with CBS, so hopefully they can fix that as the season goes on. I have no problem with the coverage. I have a big problem with all of the stalling and the blackouts and it seems like it's always when Napoli's playing. I don't see this when other teams are playing. It's only when Napoli's playing. That's just the way I see it.
Like,
and I watch all these games. I watch them, all of them.
They got to pull a little more bandwidth when Napoli's playing over there. All right, you need
right.
Get some FiOS in your life,
right?
Paramount.
But anyway, I'm not gonna shit on CBS anymore. I'm not going to anymore. That's the one thing I wanted to say about that. But anyway, this was the correct call, and everybody can say we're being biased as Napoli fans. How would a Milanista feel if Juan Jesus or if Petagna had a defender taken down the way Juan Jesus was taken down, and then the goal stands, like let's say the role was reversed. For a fact that the opposing team is going to bitch, moan, and complain. Where's the foul on so and so? There were
also,
three separate ways that goal could have been annullato. 3. And they just decided to pick the one that they were looking at.
I don't get. I'm sorry, Francesco. I don't want to interrupt. Did you?
No.
I'm looking at the picture here. Down in the thing, Rafa, and you're right. Just put it up again.
Come on.
What is this shit?
Okay. So Frank's interpretation of the offside was that it's not offside because how could he possibly be part of the play when he's on the ground? But they also called it an interference, an offside by because an interference could also lead to an offside call.
Offside, yeah,
right.
Yes.
And that's where Richard on Serie Sit Down was saying, that's where the infraction was. It was the interference by a player that's offside on a defender. Okay, that's where the goal was. But let's just say we overlooked that. Let's just say, okay, you know what? That's not offside. But what about this? We're talking about we've canceled goals out on VAR for plays that happened 35 seconds earlier on the other end of the pitch.
Right.
You mean to tell me that 2 seconds before the ball goes in, this thing happens, and they wouldn't have seen that if that wasn't an offside? This would cancel any goal out, any goal. The handball could be up for interpretation.
Is that somebody pulling? Is that Gulam next to the left, Rafa?
That's Gulam, but he's not pulling anyone. Yeah.
No. Is that somebody pulling him? Is that little hand reaching out and somebody? I don't know. I'm being a jerk now.
Well,
but either way,
listen,
the ref needs to see this. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
This is how people get hurt. This is how people catch elbows to the back of the head, which we've gotten many so far. Or I believe Petagna dealt with another headbutt today. But I don't care whether it was an offside or not. This right here, how does a ref not? This is blatant. This is not even doesn't even look like Juro was being slick. He just straight up put his arm around somebody. Listen, police can't even do this to citizens anymore.
No.
For crying out loud, we made it a law. But for some reason in soccer, it's okay. Don't give me contact sports shit. This is like MMA rear naked choke to Juan Jesus. Okay?
Even Juan Jesus himself commented on the disallowed goal after the game. That's telling you something, is what Maximus says. And then Sal comes in and says, if the ref had ruled out the goal for the foul, there would be no fuss, but Milan fans are blind to this picture. Reverse guillotine choke. I mean, it's ridiculous. This is definitely 100%. The goal was rightfully taken away. I'm sorry, Milan fans. I love you guys a lot. A lot of you guys I love a lot.
Yeah.
But this was the right call. and yeah, if we can always debate it. We can always debate it, but
Right.
I mean, that to me is no debate. Guys,
Also, when it says VAR too, and it says checking for, possible offside, like you were
Yeah.
saying, Rob, it could have been a slew of things. It could have been the offside, foul, or the handball. But usually when they show it on the TV, it's not like review for possible offside, comma, handball, comma, foul. They just give you one thing that they're reviewing for.
Sure.
Because in most cases, it's one thing.
Well,
But
and
in
I
this
haven't.
case, there's a
Yeah,
bunch.
and I haven't seen any quotes, guys. It's been a busy day for me. I haven't seen any quotes coming out specifically saying what was the call, because a little bit later on you'll have the referee come out and say, "Oh, it was for this." So if anybody in the chat knows, let us know.
I have an article on it. I could send it to you.
Oh, Fran coming through. Go ahead, buddy.
I gotta dig for it a little, but I did find
That's okay.
it.
Dig. I'll read some of these quotes. We read that one already. So Pasquale says, more importantly, can we talk about Piotr Zielinski's Napoli blanket he was rocking when he came out to check the VAR? Are you referring to the really long ass coat? It looks like a comfy.
that Napoli parka.
Oh, dude! Imagine Matteo Casale is in the house. What's up, brother? Imagine being photographed performing an MMA move on Jesus. Yeah, exactly. On Jesus, maybe he's saying Jesus. Yeah, let the devils of Milan cry. We have Jesus on our side. Vincenzo.
Io ci credo. Io ci credo.
Oh, man. What's he saying here? He's saying he was active. So Gaetano says he was active in the play while. Oh, yeah, let's talk to Gaetano. You would know. He was active in the play while offside. He tried to play the ball from the ground. Doesn't matter that he didn't touch it. There you go. Yeah, but even in trying to play the ball while he's on the ground, he was kicking at Juan Jesus,
I found
took
it.
out,
I'm going to send it to you guys now.
You took out our central defender, period. That's why you scored, because I believe was it Lobotko that had to kind of come back and try to cover
Ossi got sent off for Venezia versus Venezia.
I just sent it to you guys on Twitter and like a group message between us three. Sky Sports has an article on the reasoning for the disallowed goal in the Milan game and the Atalanta game, because Atalanta scored a tying goal against Roma off the corner to make it 2-2. And it was the same type of play. There was a guy at the back post who had headed it in. I forgot who it was.
Yes.
He was called off.
Yes. Palomino, I think it was.
Was it Palomino? Yeah.
I think it was.
The hand of Palomino on Crisante's back and the contact, more with the addition of the movement between Gerard, enough to consider the cancellation of the goals from Atalanta Milan.
What about the Napoli goal? Show us the Napoli goal. Or show us the ruling.
Just give me a moment. I got it. If you guys keep going for a little bit, I'll
yeah. So anyway, before we get into the official word on why the goal was canceled, guys, this was an even match. I mean, as little action. I mean, we talked a lot about this match. It wasn't a lot of action, but at the same time, total attempts 11-11. Right? Total attempts on target were 2-2. Possession was 49 Milan, 51 Napoli. Passes were 379 Milan, 411 Napoli. Pass accuracy was 79 Milan, 81 Napoli percentage. 5 corners each. 5 offsides for Milan, none for Napoli. Huge. That's huge too. Fouls committed 14 for Milan, 18 for Napoli. Napoli got 2 yellows. Milan didn't get booked. And distance covered 112 for Milan, 113.1 for Napoli. Such an even game. Like, some guys, Marco on CBS especially, and he actually, when we messaged after the game, told me that he's happy Napoli won because he feels they deserved it. They deserved the win, and Milan getting that point would have been a travesty, he said. But looking at these stats, I mean, I might think differently. If Milan had bagged an equalizer, I'd say that they definitely well deserved it. I'm going to give them some sort of credit, guys. What do you guys think?
I think a draw definitely like you were saying before, Biz, this game was kind of the result was a little bit of a toss up. I think
Yeah.
when with both teams having so many quality star players out, the quality of this game was so much less than it would have been had we both been 90 100% fit with starters. The both teams really just struggled to produce a lot offensively. It wasn't entertaining, like you were saying. It was boring. A lot of the times in the game too, both teams struggled to keep possession, string passes together. So I think that all the injuries and that drop in quality was really noticeable, which made the game kind of boring and ugly.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just reiterate. It was really a coin toss. I think. I think we dodged a few bullets from Ibrahimovic. That's kind of like that. And listen, we've seen it a whole lot with Napoli. Funny enough, we got Spezia coming up. Everybody remembers Spezia
Please.
last season. Sometimes, you're the star boy, the superstar. He's gonna miss, and I don't know what it was. Was it the cold? Was it the fatigue? Was it the pressure? I mean, Ibrahimovic, I don't think guy feels pressure at this point in his career. But considering the atmosphere, I think Milan, like if I was a Milanista, I would have expected Milan to draw in a little bit more energy from the crowd. I think what was it? Christian Vieri was there, and I mean there was a buzz in that stadium.
There was.
And
This
you
was
know,
the big
Milan,
match of the Andata,
yeah,
guys. This was the
and
big match of the Andata for sure.
right, and even as a Milanista, you can't really say, well, Milan had, Napoli had their start. No, we didn't. We didn't have our captain. We didn't have one of the best wingers in Italy on our team. We didn't have one of the best strikers. We didn't have the best center back. I mean,
Put
we're
it this
talking
way:
about
we
key
didn't have
players
we
out.
didn't have the captain and the two backup captains starting.
Right, including our
Right.
our starting striker. So
Mm-hmm.
let's be honest, both teams were evenly matched per se. Per se, if it wasn't like we had. I don't think we had this big advantage. If anything, they had the advantage. With
I'd say Milan
one
did, yeah.
Milan
I'd say
certainly
we
had
were
the advantage, and they
I'd say
didn't
we were a little
capitalize
worse
over
off.
it. Yeah, I was worried. Yeah, we took an early goal. It's fine.
Right, Vin. I'm not.
But
Vin says we scored after 5 minutes. We were away from home. We had far more important players out. Close match, but we deserved the win. I'm not doubting that we didn't. We definitely deserved the win. That's without question. We deserved to win. It would have been a shame for us to have dropped points. The way we could have if that goal stood. But what I'm saying is, it was so evenly matched that Milan pressed a lot. That had they scored one of their opportunities, I think a draw would be a fair result, and I would have taken it. I honestly would have taken it.
yeah,
But
I would have taken a
yeah.
draw.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Sure.
if it were the Kessie goal, obviously, we're all singing a different tune because of how late that was. But had they scored an earlier chance, different story. But when it's that
If Ibra
close,
would have got
and
one
we
of those
blow it,
headers in,
yeah,
if
yeah.
Ibra would have got one of those headers in, be like, all right, well, it's Ibrahimovic with a nice header. I mean, Napoli did come out the second half. I felt like a little bit stronger, a little bit more motivated. We needed that. You needed to bring the game to Milan, and like I said, like kudos to both teams. I don't know, like I'm not, mad. I'm happy obviously for the win, but if I was a Milanisti, I don't know, would I be mad? It's like it could have gone anyway. It could have gone anyway. I feel like this is one of those times that anything could have happened, So, but we get the win, and hell, I'll take it.
Well,
Rob,
we get.
do we have any updates, by the way, on Wednesday for Fabian or Insigne at all?
I haven't, like I said, I haven't checked anything. I haven't done enough preparation in advance for that. I focused in on the game from yesterday. I probably should have, but no, nothing yet. I would imagine, maybe Fabian come back, possibly not. I mean, listen, it's Spezia; they're a bottom table team. If we can come out with a similar team that we had and beat them this Wednesday and save everybody for after the holiday, maybe get them a little extra rest. Insigne, especially Fabian, especially Koulibaly. I don't know what's going on with Africa Cup of Nations. I believe the president of the African Confederation came out and said, no, this tournament needs to happen, but there's a lot of teams that are not happy about these players going to Africa and then possibly having to quarantine when they return. So there's a very big worry there, and it's a legitimate concern, and I'm not sure what's going to happen. But I tweeted this out, as much as I'd hate to say this, because I really do love international football. I do. And it's annoying that it's in the middle of the season and that we're losing our best players. But it would be a shame to see it happen to where it has to be postponed. But I think at this point, it's in the best interest of Napoli for this tournament to be postponed or canceled or whatever. And that's all due respect to all the African out there, Napoli fans. I know Mo Salah's a big fan of the African game, and he's looking forward to it. So am I. I love watching it. I loved it. But it would definitely be in Napoli's best interest for this competition to not take place. We'll see what happens. Or if it's going to take place, for it to take place where the team is picked based on players that can go and not have to quarantine on return. You know what I mean? So there's that. Right. But the Napoli win sees us go to second place. Salernitana dropped to Inter 5-0. I predicted 6-0. Cousin Dan predicted 5. Gil predicted 4. We were all right in some way anyway. Atalanta shockingly dropped to Roma 4-1 at home. Unbelievable. Juve beat Bologna. Fiorentina, Sassuolo is 2-2. Milan, Napoli 1-0 Napoli. So the top 7 look like this, the European spots. Inter 43, Napoli 4 back 39, tied with Milan for second and third, but Napoli have the tie break now. So anytime Napoli and Milan are tied on points, you're going to see Napoli ahead of them from now on. Atalanta 2 points behind us with 37. Roma with 31 in the Europa League spot. Fiorentina with 31 in the Conference League spot. Juve left out if the Coppa Italia winner comes from outside the top 7. Otherwise, they'd get another. Fiorentina would get another. Fiorentina would get the other Europa League spot, and Juve would get the Conference League spot. The last game of the first half of the season is this week. Tomorrow, Genoa, Atalanta, Juve, Cagliari. Wednesday, Verona, Fiorentina, Inter, Torino, Roma, Sampdoria, Empoli, Milan, and Napoli, Spezia at the same time at 2:45. So that's going to be interesting as well. Guys, we have a beast of the match. I got to get that going. Please, chat. First of all, thank you very much, chat, for being with us. We absolutely are rocking today. Love it. I don't even know if I can handle it. Biz has been helping me out. Thank you so much, Biz, for that. But give us who your beast of the match is. Biz and Fran, I did this again where I don't consult with my co-hosts on who they think the beast is. But chat, throw it up there. Let me know who you got as beast of the match. Thanks again for watching and listening. Thank you for listening on the Far From Vesuvius podcast, too. If you're not watching live with us on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. And also thank you for watching if you're not watching live on YouTube. But yeah, I'm gonna get right with the beast of the match. What do you guys?
There's a few good ones out there, man.
There really is a few good ones, man.
I'm gonna take a lifeline and probably go with some of the people in the chat, Rafa.
Okay.
I won't.
Yeah, I know why.
I'm not picking Elmas. Okay, I'll say that much. I love the dude.
All right.
He got the goal. He does well, but as far as the beast.
Yeah.
Not sure if he was quite the beast of the match. Let's do it, Rafa.
Let's do it.
I still don't know what you did. Let's do it.
All right.
Drum roll, please. Wow, Ibrahimovic.
Jesus.
Oh,
Ibrahimovic. No, Ibrahimovic. My piece of the match is Juan Jesus. Guys, I got to say, I watched him play. I thought he was tremendous. in defense.
I think you could
I
have
really
went
did.
either way with him or Ramani. Really.
Well, I'm okay with Ramani being the man of the match. I think Ramani was hands down man of the match. It's him and Elmas. I think for me, we're side by side for man of the match. But it's Jesus' birthday this week. The fix is in. Why do you think? Come on, of course.
Yeah, baby. Dan knows
How
what's good.
How
Man took that
can
luck.
how can I have picked anybody else other than somebody named Jesus?
He went
Okay,
into
During
headlock for us.
he
Sacrifice.
right.
I'm surprised
All
Juan
the stars
Jesus.
are lining up. They're
Yeah,
aligned.
man.
Dana White is gonna try to sign Juan Jesus.
But I don't know. You guys, I thought he was just absolutely incredible in the absence of Koulibaly. These are great. Jesus saves goals. I love it. Absolutely love it. Gesù Bambino. Love it. Christmas is upon us. Only what is it now? 5 days away? 6 days away?
Coming up
5 days.
Saturday.
Saturday.
5 days
It's
away.
Saturday.
Saturday. And
Crazy.
Juan Jesus is beast of the match before Christmas. It's only fitting. It's only poetic. It's poetic.
He's
But,
due
yeah.
for one more. Wednesday, he's due for one more match.
Due for one more match. Let's go. Let's go. I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised that Juan Jesus hasn't negotiated a number change with Ospina. Put Jesus 25 on the back of that shirt. Why not?
Or 33.
Or 30. Well, who's wearing 30? Isn't someone wearing 33 right now, or is that Unas
No,
have
I don't
30?
think so. Oh,
Is it Unas with 33, or does Unas have a different number?
Damn, it's a good question, right? Wait, I can find out right now.
Yeah, it's luck.
Yeah, someone check on that for me. But anyway, beast of the match, Juan Jesus. Yeah,
I gotta put a
believe
comment
Unas
up,
does have
Rafa, if
30.
you don't mind here. Antonio,
No, put it up.
He's 30.
Pandolfoli.
He's 33.
So him and Unas got to switch. But Antonio says JJ got picked up for shoplifting after putting Ibra in his pocket.
He put Ibra in his pocket. I know Ramani had that nice tackle on Ibra, but Juan Jesus took care of Ibrahimovic. I got to say, I'm very impressed with Juan Jesus. I think someone else in here said that. Maybe Sal de Brita said that in Juan Jesus we have more than just a rotational player. I think he's really done it, and we were very, very skeptical about him in the signing, weren't we, guys? We were so skeptical about Juan Jesus. I think he's done a fantastic job. If this is the only thing he does for us this season in this stretch, I'd say job well done by him. I'd say great pickup for Napoli, right? Am I wrong? I'm not wrong in saying that.
No,
Rafa, do you know a special thing about Napoli that I feel like we have is that this team, the city, the players always have something to prove, you know? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if that's a knock, but if you look at it, right, there's always something to prove for every player on this team. When it comes down to Rui, when it came down now to Juan Jesus, when it comes to Spalletti, when it comes to Insigne, when it came to Petagna, even Osimhen, remember all the struggles that he had really climbing in the ranks from when he played in Africa up until he was in Germany, and then they didn't want him on the teams, and then he went to France, now he's in Napoli. When you look around, all these players got something to prove. All these players are trying to step up and make a name for themselves and really kind of solidify their presence in this league or just in this sport. And that's the one thing I really like about Napoli, that we are grinders. We are people that sometimes you think might, even Politano with Inter, he even said it publicly about how he didn't care, that Inter didn't care about him, and now look who he is on Napoli. So this team is formulated with a bunch of guys that it's kind of like the Las Vegas Knights situation in the NHL. Once again, Napoli talk going into hockey or wrestling, but I really feel this team, a lot of players on this team have those. I don't know if it's quality, but at least have those motivations where they have something to prove. And somebody had wrote down, I'm not sure how accurate it is, but I believe them because the chat is always really good at giving us some cool stats. But Juan Jesus had more minutes now than he had on Roma. Is that right?
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
that's it. I mean,
sounds
it
correct. I don't know.
could be. It could be. We can find that out. I mean, I wouldn't put it past. I really wouldn't. Um,
And
Matteo comes in
Rahmani.
and says, "No,
Oh,
go ahead.
go
I'm
on,
sorry.
go on.
No,
No, no, no.
Rahmani, go ahead. Rahmani, go ahead.
So,
No, go ahead.
well, I
talk
was
about
gonna
this
say,
after.
look at Rahmani. Like, all right, he could have been considered for the beast of the match today. Rafa, I believe when we were doing the rant, he made beast of the match at least once or twice. So
Sure.
and probably co-beast of the match probably a couple times. So
Yeah.
look how much of an impact he's been making, especially when Manolas dropping and having to pair up with
Right.
Koulibaly. I mean, I had faith in Rahmani from last year, even when he made that stupid mistake on his first game when he fell and he had those issues. But after that, he bounced right back up and proved himself, and he has been. Thank you, Dan Antonius. Thank you. I believed in Rahmani from last season. Honestly,
Yeah.
It's no surprise
Yeah.
to me that
Yeah.
he's playing this well right now. I believed
I'll
him from last
admit.
season.
I'll admit. I've always been on the Rahmani train, even with
Yeah.
the Udinese mistake and
Come on,
Gattuso
Dude,
taking him off.
Gotta give him
I was
time.
thinking, what he was doing with Kumbula and I forgot the third center back's name in the back three at Hellas Verona, but I mean it's the same league. So if he was playing solid in a back three at Verona, odds are he's gonna eventually play solid next to the best center back, arguably in the world, in the same league that he was already balling out in. So it's I was
Fantastic
saying
pickup.
I think he'd be better than Manolas for us too, just because Manolas was
Right
always
now?
really aggressive, and Koulibaly is also aggressive. So I feel like they didn't really complement each other that well, and maybe that's why the partnership never took off in the way that we all thought it would and hoped it would.
Right.
But with Rahmani being the more like reserve center back while Koulibaly is on the field, it balances out for us
Sure.
way more.
He's like our Albiol.
Right.
Man. He's kind of like
Right.
our Albiol, and by the end of this season, he is gonna. I mean, all right, Manolas is already gone, but Manolas is gonna be a very distant memory. I mean, probably by January. Once it's official, he starts playing with Olympiacos.
He already is.
But let's keep it real. There was kind of a nasty ending there. I know he had his things in Greece and yada yada yada, but and there were some
apparently he
people
was
with the
hurt.
Papone stuff again. I'm like, listen, he tried. Olympiacos was offering us a freaking guy who was not allowed to go in Spain because of criminal records. You know what I mean? This was the guy that they were offering to give us for Manolas. You got to understand, it was a bad deal in the beginning of the season. We couldn't just go out and buy another center back. De Laurentiis holding on to Manolas was a good move, but clearly Manolas played his cards in a way of not, in my opinion, that he didn't want to be on the field, whether he had this injury, that injury, or gastritis or whatever it was, and then the family issues. So he wanted to go, clearly, and maybe he had a little thing in him that De Laurentiis didn't let him go in the summer, but either way, he's gone now, and Rahmani stepped in, and no problem.
Are you sad to see him go?
Not really. No, not with Rahmani there now. No, I'm not sad to see him go, but I don't have any beef with Manolas. I'm just saying, like, what's really leaving? I don't.
Yeah.
We'll miss
I was
you,
gonna say
Costas.
I don't have anything against him, but I mean like I'm not bothered by him leaving at all. It's whatever.
It's like I got no hard feelings. We'll miss you, Costas. No.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
We'll
thought
miss
it was
the
cool having a
tzatziki.
Greek,
We'll miss the tzatziki sauce.
Yeah, the tzatziki. Yeah. One last thing before we go, guys. We're in the hour, approaching hour 20. This is great. I'm so happy that Biz is back and Fran, you're on with us, and
great to be on. Great to be on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much for coming on to such short notice as well. I really appreciate it. But there's one last thing that I want to share with you guys, and I'm not sure that I was going to present this, but apparently. Lorenzo Insigne is up for 2021 Pallone Azzurro. I didn't even know this was a thing, but here we are. Pallone Azzurro, Insigne win it, or is it someone else? What do you guys say?
Someone else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I
Chiesa,
would say, oh, it's tough.
Donnarumma, Chiesa,
I'd say Donnarumma, Chiesa, Spinazzola. I'd probably have ahead of Insigne.
Ralph.
Man, while I think Insigne had a great performance, does he get? I think it has to go to somebody, either one of the defenders or
Chiellini or Bonucci.
I mean, fucking hate Collini though. I really
I mean,
despise this guy.
yeah.
But in the Euros, I think again, like 2006, Italy's defense really won this trophy, this European Championship. Not that Insigne did not contribute, but it wasn't our goal scoring that won us, in my opinion. It was our defense and how we were able to thwart a lot of great attacking sides in Spain. I mean, that Spain game was the championship. I knew once we beat them, we were going to win because I believe that was our biggest challenge.
Yep.
But Belgium, England, come on, guys. I mean, you want to say Donnarumma? He had that save to win it. Yeah. One of the partnerships between, I would almost say Bonucci over Collini, but let's keep it real. Our defense won us the European. So I think it should go to one of those people back there.
Well, okay, but let's see. So I'm assuming
as far as the candidate, the candidacy, I think is well
I think
deserved.
is warranted. Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know the other candidates. I just saw this. I saw this hanging around on Twitter earlier, so that's where that's where this idea came from to show it. But Insigne for me, if you're going to include the performance of last year, of last season before the tournament, 19 goals, season of his career with Napoli, I think he should get a shout, when it comes to this Pallone Azzurro,
Rafa, can I ask you, is this for international play or for what they've done in Serie A?
I mean,
that's a different answer.
I'm thinking it's for international play, but I like I said, if you're gonna lump in, play in, in the league as well, I don't see why you can't, put Insigne at the top. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But so far, we're looking at Barella as a candidate, Donnarumma, Chiesa, and I think that's it.
I would pick Donnarumma over Chiesa personally, but again, I would prefer to see somebody in the defensive end of the Italian national team.
Mm-hmm. Also, want to say really quick a nice happy birthday to Jorginho, who is his birthday today. Jorginho is one that we miss and that we love.
Joe as well, right? Joe
for sure.
Boy is his birthday.
Joe Fischetti was yesterday. Yes,
yeah,
yep.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Joe Fischetti. Happy belated to Dom from the Bronx, Dom BX.
Right.
His birthday was a couple days ago. All great guys. But we're going to leave you guys with that. Really quick, just want to say next Monday night, we will not be around. Serie A is on a break for Christmas, so Rafa is taking a break from everything.
Well deserved.
We will return on January 3rd, 2020. Wow, I screwed that big time up. Not 2020, January 2022.
Yeah.
Not only am I not getting the year right, you know how normally when the new year comes, you're still stuck on putting the old year, like 2021, right? I went to 2020.
Right,
we will return January 3rd, 2022, Monday night with Professore Gaetano Solazzo and the Napoli mid-season report card. Yes, the teacher himself, the principal himself.
The principal.
Principale Gaetano Solazzo will come on and we will give, it will be a great show. We're going to give a grade to Napoli players for this half of the season so far. We're going to do each individual player. We're going to do Spalletti. We're going to do the team itself, probably what the best game was, performance, whatever. But we're going to do a nice show. It's going to be cool. It'll be before we come back for the Juve game, which is on the 6th. Don't forget Spezia on Wednesday. We will have a post-match. Probably going to do it late again, like now, 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever. Just keep in touch with me, and I'll let you know what's going on, like Fran did today. And I want to say Buon Natale to you, Ralph, you, Fran, everybody in the chat. Buon Natale and Buon Anno. Please be
Buon
safe.
Natale, guys.
Yes, please be safe, guys.
Yeah.
Do it the right way. You know, we got this dumb Omicron stuff going on, but we also have other dumb things going on. And I just want everyone to be safe and you know, let's all be.
Tip your waiter.
Yes, tip your waiter. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
Lozado, I'm in the business too again.
You guys know.
I
You
just
guys
started
know.
a couple weeks ago.
Good for you. Good for you.
I'm waiting at a barbecue place.
So the soccer place is done? You're done with that place?
Scrap that. I scrapped it.
Scrap that.
I've always been in the restaurant gig, actually, my whole life.
You have.
So
You look like a restaurant guy. Fran, you look like a guy who's gonna put on a bow tie and a white shirt buttoned down with black and the apron, the white apron going on.
The apron.
Come on. Yeah, that's you all with the pompadour and the fresh low tape. Come on.
With the patent leather shoes.
How's that? Are you out of pomade yet? Do you the stuff that I sent you?
Yeah, I ran through that.
All right, I'm gonna have to try to find you some. I'm gonna have to try to find you some more. I'm gonna have to try to find.
I appreciate that. No, but I was always in restaurant gigs, but then because of COVID, I didn't know what was going on with seating limitations and all that, and I just said, you know what, until this kind of blows over, or at least there's a clearer picture, I'll just go retail for now. And then I did that for as long as I could. But restaurant for me is just it's just more fun than retail. I like the rush of the adrenaline when you have a bunch of tables sitting at once and you don't know what the hell to do first. It keeps you on your toes and it makes the shift go by faster. And you just interact with more people as a waiter too than retail. I feel like it also depends where you're working though too. So
for sure. Let's get a Forza Napoli sempre in the chat, everybody. Let's do it. Want to thank you all for joining again. Thank you all for listening on the podcast. Thank you all for watching live or taped on YouTube. Fran, why don't you plug yourself? What's your where can we find you on Soch?
So on Twitter, you can find me at Partenopesce. I don't know if I'm supposed to type that or.
No, that's fine. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah. On Twitter, you can find me at Partenopesce. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know what other plugs you guys like to give out, but for all things Calcio, I would say it's my Twitter. That's where I'm just talking all Calcio, all Napoli. So.
And Bizzarro, of course, we all know where to find you, right?
RAFF_BIZZ, Raf Biz.
That's it.
There is links there to the Calcio Napoli Club USA, still going strong, guys. We get. I would encourage people. I left a Discord link, so if you just want to kind of talk Napoli in a place that's not pretentious, that we're real sticklers about mutual respect. I think it is a great place to come and talk, especially during games. A lot of people, we have a game thread. A lot of people show up. You can find me there. You can find a whole bunch of characters there, and then catch me on Twitter, of course. Big thank you, big love to everybody who was a part of the Raf and Raf rant. Of course, I see a lot of familiar faces here in the chat. Stay tuned. There's future things coming up, man. It was just a time that I had to kind of focus on other things, but I can't tell you the amount of gratitude I feel for from everybody. It was emotional to say the least.
Yes, sir.
To get so many messages that day, and I want everybody to know that I'm not gone. I just working on some things right now, and hopefully we could see something in the future. So, But in the meantime, Rafa here has really been holding down the fort for Napoli in general, along with the same characters like Joe Fischetti, Dom from England. So show some love to these guys because it's not easy to keep be here every weekend, week out. So shout out to you, Rafa, for
Thank you very
keeping
much. I
keeping
really
going.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Where's Pasquale? The 20-minute Napolitan goodbye is wrapping
full
up.
effect.
Yeah. You know how it goes.
I don't know if I actually got a chance to tell you guys this, but to the Canadian men in the group chat, to the Canadian boys, my flight is booked. My flight is booked. But we don't know what's gonna happen with COVID right now because apparently.
Did you get the insurance? Did you get the insurance, French?
I don't think I did, Biz. I'm hoping that like God forbid they go into lockdown. They just credit me with like another flight, not a refund. They just say,
Right.
God forbid,
future ticket.
they just give me points or whatever, and I can use it for another flight. Because actually, I was talking to Vincenzo today about it, and apparently British Columbia and Quebec are both looks like they're heading into lockdown. Toronto's Ontario, so they have no idea what's going on there yet. Next week, I guess there might be a clearer picture right before the new year, but for now, I'm booked 6th to the 14th. So I'm hoping that I get to see you guys and hang out with you guys for the week. That'll be a great time.
It's in January, Francesco?
Yeah. In a couple of weeks.
Awesome.
So I'm hoping it happens. I'm on for 5 weeks for school for the Christmas break, so I figured get away for 1 week, but I don't know what's gonna happen. It's seeming a little weird right now.
Best of luck to you, my brother, in your travels.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hopefully you can get there and rock out with the Canada guys, the Toronto guys, the Napoli Club Toronto. Let me shout them out too. Fili del Vesuvio podcast, the Napoli Club Toronto guys, Carm Sereno. They're doing some really, really cool things. They are absolutely killing it with that merch. There is a freaking their merch is going to be something else. I saw that, and that's coming soon. So please follow them. Here is where you can find Calcio Napoli Club USA on Facebook. Join us there too. Here is the social media for Fili del Vesuvio and Napoli Club Toronto. Here is that. And once again, why not? Let's show the standings because we need to have a 20-minute goodbye. So let's fill this time, right?
These are funny.
Yes, they are very funny. They're very funny.
Okay. All right. For real this time.
All right, let's go, guys. It's
real this time.
very, very good. Thank you very much again, Biz and Fran. Buon Natale,
thank you for having
buon
me
anno
on.
to all the
Appreciate
listeners.
it.
Ciao, ciao. And as always, Forza Napoli sempre.
Forza.